Today I'm joined by Glenna Marchant from Eatonia, Saskatchewan. She's been a very dear friend of mine, who came into my life at a very important time of my life, and it was great support for me over the years. Glenna's having her 90th birthday in a week's time from now, and she's got a few messages she'd like to share with you.
Sure. Hi, everybody.
So Glenna, let's start with the family first, and then we'll go back into your early childhood, and we'll talk about what that experience is like. So let's talk about your kids. Let's talk about, well, you met Maurice, I guess, first, right?
Yeah. How I met her?
How you met him, yeah.
Oh, I think through my sister Linda. She was going with our Neopri, and they were coming down to the fort to dances and stuff, and she got to know Maurice before I did. And then one day he was driving by this house and stopped, and that was it.
That was it. That's back when they had dances in the port, I guess.
Yes, it was.
It was a big time.
Yeah.
And then, what year would that have been?
58.
58, okay. And then, let's talk about the kids. When did Monty came along first, right?
Monty came in December of 59, and then Jackie in October of 60. And Neil in May of 62, and Sean in August of 64.
Okay, great. So that everybody was born in Eatonia?
Monty and Jackie were born in Kindersley.
Okay. And at that time you were living out at the farm east of Laporte.
Yeah. We lived on Maurice's mom and dad's farm. Right. Which became Maurice's later.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you moved into town at some point there too. You were telling me earlier about the flood, I guess,
yeah,
for lack of a better term.
Well, and we bought this house in 67 from Maurice's grandparents, and we would move back and forth in the spring and the fall. In 73, there was a big rain overnight, and it flooded the slough, and the water was over the road. The kids, they were having exams, so we had to get them to school. So Maurice had to pull me up to the highway with the tractor, and that was the end of kind of living out at the farm.
Yeah, that was when I moved to town. Yeah, 73. Yeah, well, the slough, it's had a few, bills over the year, I guess, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's been dry recently, I think. But
yeah.
So you were telling me earlier about Neil had some comments to you on the way to the highway, or on the way to the road there.
Yeah, I was nervous driving, and he didn't think I was driving right, so he said, "Mom, let me drive." I told him to be quiet.
Did he be quiet?
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Oh, that's. I wonder if that's the last time that ever happened. Yeah, that's good. Well, it was funny. I've heard stories of the kids, I guess, for lack of a better term, over the years, and both Bob and David Cook would share them with me. And yeah, like, is it true that Jackie was the wild one of the bunch, or was
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure what for the wise is.
Yeah, I never heard a number of stories about Sean and Neil and Monty over the years, and they're always fun. Just being typical young man, right?
Right.
And
yeah.
Always having fun. So yeah.
Like Sean was here the other day. I was talking to Sean here not too long ago, and his granddaughter, 16, had got grounded, and he said, 16, can you imagine being grounded? Christy said, well, you guys didn't have phones.
Yeah, right.
He said, yeah, because nobody knew what I was doing.
Yeah, you know what? It's just a tank of gas and look out, right?
Right.
It was a different time back then. Well, I remember Sean, when I was 16, I was driving the farm truck, the 77 white Ford, and Sean at one point had a 79 Ford truck, I believe. And they had, there are stories about pushing bales in the LaPorte Slough around bales with the truck. I don't know how often it happened, but I remember him trying to encourage me to go out there with the farm truck and do that. But
I can imagine they thought that there was.
yeah, it's funny. So yeah, so growing up, um, kids were busy, you know.
Yeah, they played hockey and ball and swam.
Yeah, and Jackie played ball too, didn't she?
Yeah, for a while, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, well, I was busy because I know Maurice did some management coaching or managing of the teams. Maybe you did too.
I coached the girls' ball 1 year.
Oh, really?
That was enough for me. I didn't do a very good job.
Did you play? Well, coaching's difficult, right?
Yeah.
Were you a ball player when you were younger?
Yeah. I played ball in Kindersley for the seniors, and when I first moved to Eatonia, I played ball for a few years.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, let's go back. Maybe that's a good time to pivot back into your early childhood. Let's talk about, I guess when you were born, what that looked like, where you lived, school, friends, family. Your sisters are well known in the area, and yeah.
I was born in Kindersley in 1936, on July 23rd. Lived on the farm about 4 miles southeast of Kindersley. I was the second youngest of 13 kids. So, okay. 7 brothers and 6 sisters. And I'm the last one standing.
Oh, wow. That's a large family.
Yeah.
What was the age difference between you and your oldest sibling?
Probably about 20 years. Baby was born in 1907.
Okay.
So I was born in 36. So about 20 years, 22 years somewhere.
Yeah. Wow. And okay, let's talk about your siblings and your parents a little bit. So you have 13 of them. There's some Mabel, yourself.
Mabel was the oldest, and then my sister Fern, and she passed away with cancer. And brother Charlie, he ended up in an accident. The horses ran away. He was running backwards, and they had a wagon on him, and it rolled him underneath, and he broke his back. He lived for quite a few years afterwards. He actually passed away, and then my brother Steve, he worked at a garage in Kindersley, and he was doing some welding, and a spark landed in the gas can, and so he picked it up and carried it outside. So when he breathed the smoke in, and that eventually killed him. I had 2 brothers that I didn't know. They passed away before I was born. And then there was my brother Ed. He lived in Calgary. He was a conductor on the railroad. He passed away with a blood things in your body.
Oh, like an aneurysm?
An aneurysm.
Okay.
And my sister Dawn, she worked at the Kindersley Hospital for years. She died when she passed away. I had a sister Eleanor just before Dot. Her and Dot were going down to the CN Dam, which was about 2 miles south of the farm. It was barrels to get water for washing clothes and stuff. And going down the hills, the horses, they ran away. she told Dot to jump. Dot jumped. Eleanor, she got, I don't know what this happened, but she got her kind of collarbone broken, and she ended up with passed away. There's Dot and my brother Albert. He drowned in Lake Kindersley Lake. And my brother Neil, he passed away with cancer. And there was me. My sister Linda, she was 5 years young. She passed away with cancer, and she also had MS.
So Linda was the youngest one?
Yeah.
Okay, I understood. You were, okay. Yeah. Well, there's, yeah, it's a large family.
Plus, yeah.
It sounds quite eventful, you know. Um, what about your parents?
My dad, he worked out a lot, so I really didn't know him. Like, he used to go down east once in a while because that's where they were from. He'd work there in the wintertime. He rented the farm out, and then he worked at, as caretaker at the hospital for years, and also at the arena in Kindersley. He passed away in about, and he was about 69, somewhere in there, with a stroke. My mom, she she was living in the manor in Kindersley, and she was 94, and she passed away.
Yeah, so yeah, we're 90. Yeah, you're 90. So yeah, it's a good age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So, and you were living at the farm until like
We lived at the farm until they closed the Turbot school that we went to.
What was the name of the school again?
The Turbot.
Turbin. Okay.
And then we went to Kindersley, and I was in grade 8, and then that year we rented the next year we rented a house in Kindersley and moved in there.
So was your father still going down east at that time? Okay. That would have been difficult, probably, with several kids on the farm for your mother.
Yeah, it wasn't easy for her.
No.
We had no electricity, no running water. We had horses and cows and pigs, chickens.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of work. And we think about when it's muddy, and adverse conditions like that during the summer months, but the winter months, like there wasn't the equipment to move snow.
No.
Like how did you manage that in the wintertime?
Well, we had sleighs and horses. We had to go thing already. Horses and sleigh.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
That's how we went to Kindersley. Also, kept the winter time. In the summertime, it was horse and buggy.
So how long would that take to go to Kindersley? You're 4 miles away.
Yeah. Half an hour, maybe, or so.
That's not
Not
bad.
sure.
Yeah.
Because we used to be able to walk it in an hour.
Yeah. That's unheard of. Because the time I came along, I literally would drive around the block, look for a place to park in front of the store. I never walked anywhere recently. Amazing, really. So it would have been quite a change then to move to Kindersley.
Oh, yeah.
Did your mother work out of the house?
No, she did. She took in boarders.
Okay. So your father was he was there year round then?
Yeah, he got into the house in Kindersley. Okay. Because when he worked at the hospital and stuff, he stayed in there.
Okay. So you said you didn't really get a chance to know him. I guess that was the younger years, right?
Yeah.
And by the time you're a teenager,
Yeah.
yeah, priorities change, I guess, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I guess, I don't know. We didn't really do too much because we were still on the farm for quite a bit of it.
So I misunderstood. I thought you moved to town when you were in grade
8.
eight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, no, I really wasn't very social. Well, I had 2 or 3 friends. That was about it.
Did you find it difficult to move from the farm?
I did, yeah. So I like the bar.
Yeah.
I still would like to live in a bar.
Yeah, it's hard to get that out of you, isn't
Yeah.
it? So socially, I guess, living on the farm, you would have, I guess, school, the one room school, probably.
It was, yeah. I think when it started, it went to grade 12, but I think by the time we left, there was only probably about grade 8 was as high as it went.
Yeah.
I think there was about 8 kids. The first winter we went to Kindersley, there was some of the kids that went to school. They had a 3-ton truck with a shank in the back, and that's how we went to school.
Would there be heat in there in the wintertime or?
Well, no, I don't think there was. I can't remember for sure, but I don't think there was. But there were 4 or 5 kids in there, or maybe 6. So.
Yeah, warm and out of the wind, I suppose.
Yeah, as long as you're out of the windows.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a contrast to today, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you would have saw there's been some changes in your lifetime.
There's some terrific changes, yes. You know, no electricity, no outdoor toilets, water, like when we moved down, that we had that. When we lived on the farm, we had the phone where it was community, whatever they call it. I forget.
Oh yeah, that yeah, what was it? You could listen to your neighbors speak.
Yeah.
I forget what that was called. And yeah, you couldn't make a phone call if your neighbor was on the line, right?
No.
Yeah, that was kind of bizarre when you think about it.
Yeah.
And if you're talking, you might hear a click on the end of it.
Oh, yeah. Quite often.
Yeah, something was up. Yeah, it's kind of funny. We give up a lot of privacy for convenience in this day and age, but there was a lot of privacy we didn't have back then too.
Yeah.
So born in 36, so you would have moved in right at the end of World War II, essentially.
So, yeah, we're all there, yeah.
Do you remember anything about those years?
Not too much. I remember one time there was an airplane flew over our farm and it was really low. That night I had nightmares about it.
Oh, I bet. Because there was a threat. There were precautions for there's bomb, what do they call them? Bomb shelters and stuff. Wasn't there?
Yeah. I don't know if they had any around Kindersley. I know we didn't have one.
Yeah. Yeah, I know there's one in Eatonia.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know what, I would have maybe kept the mayor safe maybe, but
It's
small space, but yeah, a different time. So yeah, so you were coming of age kind of in the 1950s where that was quite a time to be alive, really.
Yeah.
And go from a horse and buggy.
Yeah, before we moved to town, well, my dad had a Model T. And then we got a Model A. So that was if you remember one time we were going to Saskatchewan, my sister lived in Saskatchewan, and we were going into the exhibition Model A. Took all day.
I bet. Because the roads weren't paved probably.
No.
So you have these ruts in the roads.
Yeah.
Those skinny tires. So the 50s, and then you and Maurice met at the end of the 50s. Started your family. So You went from horse and buggy to people landing on the moon,
You're right.
from having a phone line, which is relatively expensive for what you got at this time. We could use it if no one else was using it.
You're right. Yeah.
What else do we had? Well, we had the internet, I guess. Computers came along, the internet. Now you can FaceTime and message at will, relatively low cost. Yeah, it's kind of amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit of change.
Yeah, 90 years. I wonder if there's been 90 years ever before that saw as much change as what you've experienced.
Probably not as mechanical or electronical, because like I said, the computers and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So we're in the 60s now. Kids are being born. That would have been a busy time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, was.
In the 70s were kind of a turning point. Um, you and Maurice were back in the wheat board days looking for grain, places to sell grain and move grain. And then things kind of turned around agriculture in the 70s. And yeah, that was probably a great time to be alive, I suppose, through that, eh?
It was interesting. I learned a lot because I never did harvesting or anything like that.
Yeah.
The first year we were married, they had me in the truck hauling grain,
Yeah.
and I was pregnant up to Maurice's dad. He was pulling the combine with the tractor, and I was watching, waiting for him to stop, and he was kept driving, and I ended up driving up the tractor wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he laughed and he stopped.
You- I- it sounds like it was so easy for that to happen. Because were you able to look in a mirror to see where the grain was going in?
No, I had the 1-ton truck.
So you're in the 1 ton, and you're like a 1 ton, 200, 150 bushel,
No.
maybe. And you're just kind of guessing at this point, aren't you?
Yeah. And he wasn't signal. I was just you just kind of had to get yourself lined up along the side of it.
Yeah. And if the combine would get into a low spot or a heavy spot, it would slow down.
Right.
And if you weren't ready, or if you're just going along really slow, so you had to really flutter the foot pedal too.
Yeah,
or you'd
'cause
stall.
You can stall quite easily.
Why did they give those jobs to the least experienced person on the farm? Like I had that job when I was young, and I'm glad I did, but maybe that's why. Maybe we needed that. I guess.
I guess maybe, I don't know.
Because it's the most. It's more difficult than running the machine.
Yeah. Well, I never ever did run the machine. I always drove truck. So
Really?
I
Yeah.
was put in the machine once. Well, Maurice was checking, and I plugged it, and he was kind of mad at me. So I walked away.
Back to the truck.
I went back to the truck.
Yeah. Well, the trucking, I don't know if people really appreciate how much pressure was on the truck driver. Because you would have had a small truck box, probably, I don't know if you take 1 or 2 dumps on that truck, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Slow up to the bin, unload into a 6-inch auger or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then have to race back, start the auger, then race back to the combine.
Yeah.
Do this all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Interesting, eh? You were busy managing the house and looking after doing the important tasks with the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you managed to fit in some field work too?
Yeah. Wise. I had to look after the kids and I'd make 8 lunches or 7 lunches in the morning because they had to make lunches for the kids for school and then for Maurice's dad and myself and them for the day.
Yeah, that's an underappreciated role. Like everybody, I just say everybody, but like you think of the farm, you think typically the man or but
No,
none of that stuff gets done without I'll call it the back end work.
no.
Managing the house, um, looking after the kids, the meals, the washing, right?
No.
That doesn't always get recognized.
No.
I would say very rarely it does. Yeah.
You were busy.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, and who knows what kind of trouble those three boys would have got into too. Shouldn't they?
Yeah, I think there was a fair amount.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, my sister worked with Jackie at the Kindersley Inn for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I ever shared this story, but when I used to drive truck, you'd talk to other truck drivers in restaurants or somewhere, right? And I remember one guy, I have no idea where this was, but found out I was from Eatonia near Kindersley, and he mentioned Jackie as a great waitress, and I think it was a Kindersley Inn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And that was a story from 30 years ago that I remember, It's kind of neat. So, yeah. Well, it's cool. Yeah. So you've had a lot of experiences there. So, and then the boys grew up. Jackie grew up. They went their ways.
Well,
Jackie met Lee, I guess, in Kindersley.
yeah. Yeah.
And then end up in.
Yeah, they're married in, Joyce and Lee were married in 20, or 2000, I should say. Yeah. And Monty was married in 80. 80, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Neil was married.
Yeah.
And then Sean.
Yeah. And you have, as a result of this, you have a number of grandkids.
I have 8 grandkids. Well, my kids, and then after Maurice passed away, I married Mac.
Yeah.
Marchant. And, so I've got 4
there.
Yeah.
12.
12 grandkids altogether.
Yeah. Okay, so so Maurice, for everybody, remind them what year he passed away.
He passed away Maurice passed away in 2000 and
2002. And then you met Mac. Well, you knew Mac probably your entire life.
knew Mac for years.
Yeah. My old bus driver.
Yeah.
When did you and Mac get married again?
We got married in 2005.
2000. Yeah, I remember at least one party here with everybody there. It was a busy time in the backyard. And Mac, when did he leave us?
15.
15,
Yeah.
okay. So you had 10 good years together. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, good people find good people, and it's always interesting.
Yeah, no, he was very good to me. So
yeah, absolutely. So should we let's bring attention to the grandkids, the current grandkids, I guess. So I guess, or Monty's, would they be the oldest too, or would?
Neil is the oldest.
Okay.
Raquel is the oldest.
Right.
She lives in Colorado Springs, and she's got 5 children. And then there's Well, I'll give you. And then, there's Brent, his new son, and he lives in Lethbridge, and he's got 3 girls. And then there's Amber, her Neil's daughter. She lives in Cranbrook, and she's got 4 boys. Sean, he lives in 7 persons, and he's got 3 children. Sailor, she lives in Meadows and Hat. She's got 1 daughter. It's getting married on the 18th. Sean, and Ebony, she lives in Meadows and Hat. Catlin, he lives in Edmonton. And he's married. He's got 2 children. Monty's children. Travis, he lives in the States, and I think he's in the Navy there. Not sure. Armed Forces anyway in that state. They've got 2 children. Brandy, she lives in Mississippi, and she has 2 boys.
Okay, so I ran out of fingers, and I'm wearing my socks. And
I've got over 30 great grandchildren.
30 great grandchildren.
Yeah.
And on the Mac side, then too.
Yeah, on the back side too.
Wow. I bet that feels good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Mac's family.
Okay. Well, there's Judy and Jim. They have 2 children, Corey and Glenna. Judy passed away a couple of years after Mac did. Kathy, she lives in Medicine Hat. She's got 1 son. And Larry, he lives in town here, and he's got a daughter.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big family.
Yeah, you used to fill this house up pretty good at Christmas time.
Oh, I bet. I bet you did. Yeah. Well, it's a large house.
Yeah.
You got this great room. These 2 great rooms right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works nice for that. Well, that's good. So you're in your house right now.
Okay.
And what does that future look like for you?
Well, this fall in August or September, I'm going to move to Cochrane Place here in Eatonia. I decided it was time to downsize, and there's been a few things happen in my family the past year that's kind of scared me. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you'll enjoy that.
oh, I think so. Yeah.
There might be a bit of a community there, and
Yeah. My big thing is the lack of windows in the apartment.
oh yes,
Because I got lots of windows here.
yeah, you do, don't you? Yeah. I guess you really designed that in mind when you
I
built
did.
this addition on, didn't you? This is a great room here. This is a great addition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's a little less space and more time for other things. And
Yeah.
so what have been some of your hobbies over the years?
Well,
Are you still quilting?
I still quilt. Still go to the fort to quilt.
Yeah.
I've learned to knit, or not knit, I've learned to crochet. I did that. So anything kind of crafty I tried.
Yeah. Quilting's kind of stuck.
Yeah, quilting stuff.
Yeah. So what does your day look like? Do you if that quilting's Wednesdays, that's been for a number of years now.
Yeah.
Like 20 years maybe or something.
Something like that, yeah, at least.
Yeah, at least that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will you be when you're in Cochrane Place, I guess there's a community area there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
And you obviously know people living there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I do.
Yeah. And then I guess that the UL is just across the street too, so there's always activity going on there of some
Yeah.
sort.
Yeah, there's always activities going there, and you can go join if you want.
Oh, that's neat. Is the Cochrane Place? Is it? Uh, I guess it's full. I guess, isn't it?
It's full, yeah, because I got the last place.
Yeah. I always thought that'd be a great, easy place to live.
Anybody that lives there seems to enjoy it. Like it's,
Yeah, you're on the ground floor, and
yeah.
yeah, that community area.
And I want to. It's outside, so in the summertime I can listen to the kids when they swim and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's neat, isn't it? Yeah, interesting. You guys went on just some traveling, I think, didn't you? In a motorhome at one point.
Well, Maurice and I went down. One year we went down to the Mardi Gras. We took a bus tour. We used to go to Vegas, Reno quite a bit.
Yeah.
Back at I, we went to Alaska, little bus tour. Dot and I, we went to the East Coast on the bus tour.
That was not that many years ago, was it?
It was after Mike passed away. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
That's a long bus ride.
It is. Like we got the bus from Saskatchewan. But we were going 28 days.
Well, and there's not a whole lot between Saskatchewan and, I don't know, Toronto,
No.
the Sioux, maybe.
Yeah. You could have flew from, I think, Regina to Toronto, and then the bus picked you up there. If I ever did it again, which I won't, but if I ever did, and I would fly
Yeah.
down that other part. And there's some long days.
Oh. Well, I did that trip, and there's a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but you really have to pick your spots where you want to stop.
Yeah.
You sleep on the bus all 28 days?
Oh, no.
No.
No, we hotel it every night.
But even that, right? From Winnipeg to Thunder Bay, well, the Sioux, there's only a handful of. You really have to pick your spots where you're staying.
Oh, yeah.
In a hotel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why you take a bus.
Yeah, I guess. And you and Mac, you took a bus from Saskatoon to.
No, when we went to the coast, we got the bus up. I think we got it at Lloydminster.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Because they went to Edmonton up that way, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we did some traveling then for sure. That's great.
Yeah, I think I've been through every province, I guess, in the province, because we used to go to Paul River, BC, because Moore's have an aunt out there that we visited quite often.
Okay. Every province.
I think I've been in every province.
That's incredible. It's a great country.
It is.
And diverse.
Yeah. I wouldn't live out in BC because I enjoyed going to visit it, but you can't see.
Oh, right. Yeah. It is different, isn't it?
Yeah, with the trees and stuff, you can't see very far. So I like to see.
Which province did you enjoy visiting the most, I'll say?
I love them. I think you found under PI because of the yards and stuff when you drive by on the bus and that, they're just so clean and everything.
Buildings colorful too?
Yes, very.
So do you think the yards are cleaner, more maintained on the East Coast than, say, out here maybe, or?
I kind of think maybe they are.
Yeah.
Maybe they take more pride in it, or they feel more traffic or something like who knows what the back roads would be like. But well,
Yes.
anyway, they're beautiful.
That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder if there's a provincial mandate or something for that. But anyways, yeah, it's interesting.
Well,
Yeah. Well, that's good. We covered the kids, covered Maurice, covered Mac,
mhm.
dug into the families, the 30 grandkids. Your birthday's coming up next week, and there's a wedding tomorrow.
Wedding at 12, yeah.
Where's the wedding at again?
Medicine Hat.
Okay. How are you getting down there then?
My nephew Gerald is taking me down. He spent the night till we're very back.
Okay. Well, that'll be nice.
Yeah. Thank God for him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in Kindersley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you got a busy couple weeks ahead of you.
I have.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? And a few health scares in the family, but everyone's doing well and right now, or mostly well, I guess.
Mostly well.
Mostly well.
Just a little worried about Lee right now, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I think that's where we really want to appreciate this time we have, don't we, and our
yeah,
health.
that's for sure.
And you at 90 years old, and you look great. Your eyes are bright, your skin is great, you look healthy. Yeah, you got a little trouble with the knee maybe right now, perhaps, but
Yeah.
other than that,
Oh, now I'm fine. Sort of when he didn't hurt, I'd be great.
yeah. And your sisters, a number of them had,
Yeah. My oldest sister, Mabel, she lived to 105,
yeah,
and she was great. Her mind was good.
yeah,
Dot was 90.
yeah. Good genes and good living, good clean living, I guess.
I guess.
Lots of laughter.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Yeah, yeah. It's important to stay positive, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you lived a great life. You've learned learned lots, um, gained a lot of wisdom over the years. Um, is there something that you would like to tell your 20-year-old self or your 30-year-old self, I guess? Like, is there something that I didn't prepare you for this? I apologize.
Gosh, I don't know. It's wrong.
Is there a message you'd like to give your kids, your grandkids, or your great grandkids?
Just be happy and make sure you stay in contact with each other. I think that's the big thing, is being in contact with some family.
Yeah. That's a good message. Yeah.
You kind of need them. You need them for support. And
Yeah, you may not think you do, but you get older, it becomes more apparent, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's a great message. Often people come up, well, what would you tell your 20-year-old self? And that's a common question in the interviews or conversation space, I guess. So I didn't really prepare you for that one.
no, you didn't.
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? Because, you think you know a lot when you're younger.
No.
And then a lot of us, as we get older, we just realize how much we don't know. And darn, it would have been nice to understand that when I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
Instead of learning it at 50 or 40 or whatever that number is.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So you shared your adult life, shared a lot about the family life. It was busy. Growing up, some your family has some insight and probably developed some appreciation what that was like.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like you, well, when I lived on the farm, you did a lot of stuff like wash machines. You had to switch them back and forth, so wash clothes.
You have the scrub board too? Did you?
There was, but I don't think I ever had to use it. Don't remember what we're using it either, really.
You had the wash machine at that
The
time.
wash machines, you had a handle on the thing and you rocking back and forth. Then hung them on the clothesline outside.
That's still the best way to dry clothes, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, so yeah, you got me thinking about this too. So, how did you heat the house? No electricity. There would have been no natural gas.
Coal and wood stoves.
Coal and wood stove. And 4 miles southwest of Kindersley is not. They're not known for their coal mines or trees for that matter.
No, you had somewhere that you stored your coal for the winter.
No, it came on a train. You pick it up in town at the hardware or something,
Yeah, you
lumberyard.
pick it up in Kindersley. Haul it out to the farm.
Loaded up with shovels, unloaded with shovels, enough coal to last the winter.
Yeah. You had the coal pills that you had to fill and take. Had standing beside the stove all the time. When we lived on the farm, we had it hooked up, so we had a big barrel that was full of water. It would heat up water. It was hooked up so it would heat that water. So we had hot water that way.
That's the farm at Kindersley. I guess, eh?
Yeah.
But you'd have to haul water by hand. Yeah, everything was more difficult, wasn't it? I suppose the coal would keep the house. It would last longer than wood. You'd have to stoke the fire every 2 hours or so, probably. The coal would last longer.
Oh, the coal would last longer, yeah. In the wintertime in their bedrooms, they didn't have any heat in them, so they weren't insulated really, so there was always frost slopes on the ceilings.
So, did you get up? What happened if you have to get up in the middle of the night? Would a person go outside then, or is there?
Or you might have had a little potty that you could use and then take out empty.
Yeah.
Morning.
Yeah, just a level of difficulty, inconvenience that we don't understand.
It's going to change.
Did you ever heat rocks and put them in the foot of the bed or underneath the mat?
No.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So there's probably 1 or 2 generations and doesn't know what that is.
Well, you'd heat rocks in the oven and then wrap them in a towel and put them in the foot of the bed to keep where your feet both warm.
Yeah, unbelievable. But you didn't know any different. Like, that's what it was, right?
That's the way it was.
It wasn't a hardship, was it?
No, just the way it was.
Yeah. And then the well, or did you have a well?
We had one, but we couldn't use it, so we had to walk across. Well, I don't know how far. Our neighbor's culvert. And we got water from their place, from their well. So we had to fill the water.
So you didn't use too much water. You rationed your use.
Yeah. And in the summertime, like I said, they'd go down to the sea and dam and fill the barrels with water. And in the wintertime, we'd put snow in the barrel.
Yeah. Were the barrels overhead in the house, or were they on the floor?
They were on a stand on the floor.
Yeah. And then cooking meals. What does it even look like? What does it look like for meals? What would be a typical? Would you have 3 squares breakfast?
Yeah.
Dinner.
You had breakfast. You had dinner and something.
Reason I ask that is breakfast is, I understand it's kind of a relatively recent phenomenon. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, no, you had to have your breakfast. It's cereal or toast or something. It didn't matter what. You had to have something.
yeah. So 13 kids. How many would be living at one time at the house?
Probably by the time I was born, the oldest 3 or 4 were gone. I know Mabel worked at Kindersley. We only had 2 bedrooms. So,
The oldest 3 or 4 are gone. So I still meant like 8 or 9
yeah.
or 10.
So, there was 2. One bedroom had 2 double beds in it, and the other one had 1 big bunk bed. So, and then there's a pull-out couch in the living room. Somebody slept on.
So 2 or 3 to a bed type
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah. And double beds considered small now. You didn't
We
roll
didn't have
around.
queen size bed.
No, you weren't rolling around much. I don't imagine, were you? Yeah.
I know in the summertime, there was a granary right by the house, and they had a hole dug in the bottom of it, and in the winter time they would cut ice and bring up the ice in there, and then put shavings on top of it for a nice house to keep things cool in the summertime. And then they would put bales in there. Some of the kids slept in there in the summertime.
Bales. Yeah. Still be mice in there.
Oh, yeah. Here is mice in the house, too.
Yeah, it's just interesting, isn't it? So that'd be the summer house. Would you use that as a cellar to store goods down there too in the summer? Like with the cold, with the ice, or
It was just a cold place, just to keep things cool.
I wonder how long that ice would last in there.
It lasts about, I think it lasts most of the summer.
Really?
Yeah. Because it had the building over top and shavings over top of the ice.
What did it look like to be young, growing up in the farm, chore-wise, entertainment-wise? TV wasn't the thing.
Yeah, no.
Radio would have been maybe. Eh?
We had radio. Yeah. In the summertime, well, I think every Sunday, the neighbors got together at our place and always had a ball game because we had a big pasture just down from the house.
Okay.
Played ball. In the wintertime, we skated. We had a hill in our yard that we could ski down.
Oh yeah.
When
So
you were
something
young, when you were young, you thought it was like a mountain.
I've had. So you'd have to. I guess you had skis to. You had sleighs and skis because that's how you traveled. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you guys ski to the neighbors type of thing, or use those skis for travel or just recreation?
Mostly recreation.
And you'd have to shovel off the snow off the dugout, I guess, to ski. Or...
Well, actually, we used to go down to the sea and down skate there because we didn't have a dugout or anything.
thanks.
Either take the horses or sleigh and go down, or we'd walk.
And somebody would shovel it off, or how did you?
I guess, yeah. For probably everybody, probably
Yeah.
take turn. And when we come home, Mom always had baked beans ready.
Really? That was her thing.
That was the thing.
Yeah, I love baked beans. Yeah. Well, that's neat, eh? And how far was the down from the house again? I think you mentioned that.
Probably 2 miles.
So you're going there for water, recreation. Yeah. half an hour to walk there, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Or less time with the horse, maybe.
Yeah, he lives here with horses.
So you guys had the Model A, Model T. In the wintertime, you weren't using them often, were you?
No, most of the time, winter time, most of the time, it's horses. It's like,
So it would have been some chores then, eh? On
oh
the
yeah, real cows. If you had to take horse
yeah, you would have milk cow or cows.
cows,
Cows. So that'd be your source of milk.
then we had pigs. And so, you know, and then they had the beef ring. They had every week, every week or every month. I forget now. Somebody donated a beef, and it got slaughtered. And then whoever donated it picked it up. It's put in bags for so many families.
Oh, really?
And then you drove around and delivered that.
I'm glad you shared that. I've heard of that. That I don't think many people would know about that. But that was community. You did what you did
It
to
was
survive.
community of the community. And like I'm not too sure. Probably about 8 or 9 families. Yeah, to deliver for.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to keep all that side of beef necessarily for yourself.
No,
You wouldn't have the
no.
capacity to freeze it or keep it cool. Yeah, that whole cooperative community mindset of the rural Saskatchewan or rural agriculture
Oh yeah,
settings it was so important, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, that's neat. So milking cows, feeding pigs. Obviously had some beef, had some cows for slaughter.
Chickens had gather eggs. Chop the heads off when we wanted chicken.
I did that once with my grandmother. Traumatized me.
Is that right?
Oh, this chicken running around, no head, blood everywhere. Ran in my direction, thought it was chasing me. But that's cool memory though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like all the
One time, my brother, we had a turkey, so the little gobbler, he would chase you. And this time he was chasing my brother Albert, and he picked up a stick and whacked it. He knocked it out. He took, oh, I've killed him. I don't think all one would get in the trouble. But it survives.
knocked out. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, pretty cool experiences really growing up in that environment.
Yeah.
And then to see the change be
The cow walked me into the chicken barn one time because it had a calf, and I don't know why it decided I come out. Had to wait until Mom come and chase the cow. So I left.
so the cow blocked
Yeah, I
the
just
door.
stood there and wouldn't let me out. He's like, if I went out, he's going to chase me.
Really? And had a calf in there with you.
No, it wasn't in there with me. I
Oh,
just had the calf, and I guess it thought I was going to do something to it or something. I don't know.
that's funny. How old would you have been then?
8 or 9.
Yeah. Jeez, that's a young age, eh?
Yeah.
Of course, you're doing all the chores. It's probably had more responsibilities handed to you at 8 or 9 than we would give our kids now.
But that
This
was,
stage,
yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, because you had to learn how to milk and have eggs and feed the chickens and stuff.
Yeah, we never had any animals on the farm. I'm glad we didn't. But I can see where there's, fresh milk, fresh eggs, right?
Yeah.
And back then it was kind of almost survival, maybe.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you had to separate them out to get the trains. About 3 years.
Yeah, just simple things like drinking milk. An enormous amount of effort.
I remember the one time, Dad, he was shooting a horse. He had found a colt. He bent over looking on the horse's hoof. Colt come up and grabbed his hat and grabbed it away. I can still picture that.
Really? That's funny. Just having fun playing, eh?
No, no.
Yeah, it would have been a glorious time to be alive.
It was fun.
And like you say, like to go back to that now, it'd be a hardship.
Oh, definitely.
But back then,
It was just natural. You just grew up with it. It's
yeah,
the way it was.
and everybody's doing it.
Yeah,
Your neighbors are all similar, right?
yeah.
So your father and mother, they rented the farm out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your father went down east in the winters during several of those years.
Yeah, the first few years I can remember, I know he went down there, like maybe 2 or 3 years or so. Not sure.
You know, there would have been a lot of pressure on your parents to keep these 13 kids
Oh yeah.
alive. Prospering, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't imagine that now. It's probably relative, but we're so used to some sort of standard of life right now that I don't know. You take a serious income to maintain that for
Oh yeah.
like it'd be quite large, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
But back then, you can probably go to a show for 10 cents or something, 15 cents.
I guess you weren't eating out at restaurants. That would have been quite a privilege if you're
If you did, yeah, it was a real privilege.
like probably when did you have eaten out? Would it be like the fair or something like that? Town you gotta
That would be about the only time.
you get a hot dog or something.
Oh, no, yeah.
And then the rest of the time there's no restaurant meals.
No.
Yeah. Kind of speaks to what we really need and don't, though, doesn't it? Convenience and all these other things really they come at a price tag, sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because you guys all survived. 15 of you with no electricity or running water or indoor bathrooms, right?
Right.
No fast food, no microwave.
No.
And I'm hard done by if the air conditioner doesn't work. Yeah.
No. Oh, it was a good life. Regretted at all.
That's good. Yeah. I think appreciating what one has and where one came from
Mm.
is, and being happy, a smile. I've always known you to be chuckling or laughing. That's like that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that becomes contagious. I think once you start doing it, becomes who you are. And I often wonder if learning how to be happy, I guess I'll use that term. Appreciating where you've come from. No regrets. Sounds like a longevity hack to me. You know,
Well, I don't know. Just,
a good way to be.
you know,
Have a smile on your face is better than a frown. Or
well, that's right. Yeah.
takes less energy to smile. Yeah, that's neat stuff. Quite a journey. Being so. What does a day look like for you now, for example?
Well, you know, lately I've been wake up at 5, so by 5:30.
Why so early?
Can't sleep. I don't know.
What time do you go to bed?
10.
You see, getting 7 hours of sleep, assuming you sleep all 7 hours.
Yeah. But I don't. So,
So they tell us sleep is the most important thing. We need 8 hours sleep.
yeah, I don't.
And here you are, getting somewhere less than 7, and you're celebrating your 90th birthday next week.
Yeah.
So you get up at 5:30.
Then I have breakfast, and then I will do whatever, just putter around and go on my iPad while I'm having breakfast and catch up with going on. And then I probably just go and soul.
Oh yeah.
And then in the afternoon, I might have a little sleep. I'm more ambitious up in the morning. I didn't have very much ambition in the afternoon.
I think that's for a lot of us. Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. So what are you sewing then?
Quilts,
Okay.
runners, whatever.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm making my great granddaughter a bubble quilt. I never made one. I'm wishing I'd have said no,
Oh,
but she'll get it eventually.
yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, a bubble quilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're learning something new, and
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's
It's,
neat.
it's not hard to make, but it's just, you got these little pouches full of batting, and then you have to sew these rows together, and that makes it a little hard trying to sew those rows together.
Okay.
Well,
Learning something new. That's yeah, I think that's great. So yeah, and then I guess once you move to the Cochrane place, it might be some added social activities there, maybe. Eh?
yeah, I don't know how often the utility or the common is used, but they say if you want to have a family function, they let everybody else know what's
Okay.
happening, and then they kind of stay out. So
Might be a good probably it sounds like a good place just to congregate.
yeah,
Have coffee or something in there,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, well, it's gonna be
dinner.
okay. Well, okay,
Okay, thank you.
dinner just got delivered. Sounds like a good idea, really. Yeah. Well, this is great. I don't know. We covered quite a bit.
Yeah, we have.
I don't know. Is there anything else that we're missing and you'd like to talk about? We covered all the grandkids, 30 great grandkids, right?
Yeah.
And there was, yeah, just forget how many
12 grandkids.
12 grandkids. Okay. Yeah, it's a big family. Town's going to be busy next week.
Yeah.
That'll be at the hall.
It's at the hall, yeah.
Yeah. It's great to have that facility there, isn't
It
it?
sure is, yeah. Yeah, they were going to get a tent and stuff. I wanted to have it in the backyard, but with the heat and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Renting a tent and stuff, it's cheaper to rent the whole, so.
Yeah.
And then you got the air conditioner and stuff in there.
Yeah, and there's washrooms and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. Well, it'll be a great time.
I think so. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, it'll be wonderful. Well, this is great, and yeah, well, I really enjoyed this.
And I didn't thank you, Trent.